Hello, everyone, and welcome to Arch Rewind, an architecture podcast about architecture news and topics, but from a student's perspective. My name is Stanley.
My name is Nate.
Hi, I'm Julia.
My name is Giorgio.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to Season 2.
Woohoo!
A quick shout out to EDSA for letting us borrow this space. They're a landscape, architecture, and urban design firm. And thank you so much for letting us borrow it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
DSA.
you.
Thank you, DSA. With that out of the way, let's get into episode 1 of season 2. Now, the topic for today is what can I do with my degree? All right.
What can I do, Nate?
Well, we're going to find out.
The question everyone's afraid to ask. When did we first ask ourselves, what am I actually going to do with this degree? Is it normal to love architecture or question the profession? Why does it feel a taboo to admit we're unsure about the traditional path? Who would like to
All
start?
right, well, we gotta digest that bit by bit.
Okay.
You know, so
sorry. All right, let's start with the first question. When did we first ask ourselves, what am I actually doing with this degree?
I think, at least in my personal experience, I think it started whenever we started getting like lectures about different people doing non-traditional stuff in regards to architecture. You know, whether it's robotic arms, you have people working exclusively on acoustic panels, or you have I believe the previous CEO of YouTube apparently had an architecture degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not the one now, but the one before.
Oh.
So apparently she had an architecture degree and became the CEO of YouTube. So I think
I don't know about that.
so at least
Fact check
Yeah, I checked that.
maybe I'm wrong on that, but
Comment.
but at least as far as I've been told, that's what I know. And you know, it's starting with all of that where I was like, you know, maybe there's more than just the residential and commercial stuff that you start thinking going into all of this.
What about you?
For me, it's gonna be kind of funny. So it was before I had my internship. I was working at a gymnastics place. I was a gymnastics coach, and balancing work and school. I started questioning myself: what am I actually gonna do with my degree? With like, if I'm pulling all of these all-nighters, pulling all of this work in, what the hell am I gonna do with my degree? Because it's like I'm not putting effort for anything. Because I'm the type of person that I'm intentional. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. You know, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get awards and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I actually gonna do with my degree? So that's when it was like D2.
D2.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very early.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't want it to. Okay, it's no problem at all, but I didn't want it to be one of those people that will like drop out and choose another major and drop out again and choose another major and drop out again. Because like I'm very, like I get indecisive. I have my moments and I know that.
Yeah.
But like if I'm gonna do it and I like it, I'm gonna do it. You know. So I was like, what am I actually gonna do? Because before that, I wasn't sure. Like that was something that we were talking. Because I wasn't. To me, it was still like hand drawing a little bit. It wasn't so computer intensive. And when it became computer intensive, when I realized it really was, I was like, wait, so it's not what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started questioning.
In my case,
hit.
I was a little different from her because I started using computers since day one. Yeah. So I've been in this changing software, figuring out this and that, computer. And I kind of realized that architecture is not really just about making a building and making a really cool design. There's a lot more that you can do. You can, like, we do so many things in school. We learn so many softwares. We learn how to do a bunch of different skills. We develop so many things, and we can become speakers. We can become graphic designers. We can become renderers. We can become architecturals, of course. There's so many options now with the new world and AI and everything. You can also become a computational design. You can also become coding research. There's a lot of options. So in what can you do with an architectural degree is mainly up to what do you end up liking out of everything that you have experienced throughout your whole school, because you experience a lot, and you suffer a lot, and you enjoy a lot. There's a lot of ups and downs in this type of major. But at the end of the day, it's what you take upon you, and you move forward with it.
Yeah.
That was philosophical. Write that down.
Write that down. Put it
Write that down. Write it down.
Write it
Write it down.
All right,
Yeah,
Ben.
I completely agree with Giorgio. It really comes down to what you're really interested in. And I think that question comes up for everyone, at least when you're first starting architecture. Why did you get into architecture? What do you want to do with it? Most people come up with very basic ideas, like you mentioned, residential, commercial, things of that nature. So that's kind of where everyone goes. But as you kind of like follow the path of architecture, you see things that you really like to do. Like Stanley mentioned, there are people who go into robotics, some people go into product design. We have a friend that wants to go into theme parks.
Yeah.
Yes. So it really comes down to what are you really interested in, and I think when that really was cemented is kind of when I'm hearing these horror stories as like from alumni that are having a difficult time finding that job that they want to go into. Some because the architectural field is nuanced, and where sometimes there's a big need for architecture and sometimes it slows down. And I think right now it's that slow period where I know people who graduated 2 years ago and they're having hard times like finding even an internship to go into.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'd say for me, I obviously knew I wanted to study architecture. I obviously knew, that architecture was something that was dear to me, but I did not know specifically, perhaps what I could do with my degree or what I wanted to do until like second year when I took this urban design / urban planning class. And I got to understand like the process, the procedure, how it's like they go into the community, they talk with people, they make up a master plan, and they're really changing lives, they're changing generations. And one thing I always tell people is like, or what really got me interested in urban design and urban planning was that every city has a plan for how it's going to look like in 50, 100 years from now, and it's like, people are making these decisions right now, and I want to be a part of that decision where I'm not only impacting like lives, right now, but I'm impacting lives for future generations. I'm impacting, communities, regions, that's something that, that was something that sort of became, open for me, or a path that sort of opened up itself for me in the field of architecture. Yeah.
That's great.
Very
honestly.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question: is it normal to love architecture but question the profession?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, if you don't question it, how do you move forward?
Yeah.
Expand on that.
I mean, if
I put him on the spot.
I'll take it. If you just let things be the way they are, they're not going to change.
True.
You have to question what the boundaries, what the limits are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're like, if no one questioned architecture, if no one questioned the art of designing and building a structure for someone to live in, we'd still be living in like grass huts right now.
No.
So
Here we go.
but like,
So strong.
seriously, like it's that research, that questioning, that discovery that's gotten us to where we are now. Like you start out, in a cave, then you start out. No.
It's true. It's real.
I know. It may seem it sounds funny, like saying it now, but like that's how it started. Like you start out, in the wilderness in a cave, and then you start, building your own hut out of whatever's there, and then instead of using like grass and sticks or whatever, you start using stone, and then it's okay. What different kind of stones can I do? What if I add clay to the mix?
I already got
And then,
lost.
so on and so on. And like obviously I'm spark noting it, but you don't get any innovation without questioning what already is.
True. I have a serious question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself as a caveman? We gotta answer it. You would be the caveman questioning, why is this wall so brown? I want it to be marble.
I am not a caveman. No.
You don't see yourself as a caveman?
No.
Okay, good to know.
You're crying.
I think that, like, when I was telling you about my questioning when I was in D2, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an internship because I already knew a little bit about the world of architecture.
Yeah.
From personal experience of like seeing my grandparents renew their apartment. Check out the last episodes. I already talked about like all of that. We all did. So go back to season 1. So based off of all of that, I already had like a glimpse of what it was. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an internship, and I think I'm gonna get a feel to how it is architecture in the United States because I knew that in Brazil. Perfect, I got it. And then when I started FAU, that's when it started taking a little bit my head in the sense of like, I absolutely love working in the field. I do. But FAU, like our school, has opened my head to so many different opportunities that I honestly would have never thought. Honestly, I never really thought I would enjoy like D7, AI, all of that computational stuff. Yeah. And I absolutely love it. I never really realized, like we had like a conversation before whether you wanted to go to a master's, you know, because I see you as a researcher. I enjoy researching so much, and I told you, like, I don't see myself like going because I'm not really much as a researcher like you. I love the researching, so it's like it's opening my mind in so many levels. It's like a layer, like tracing paper. You know, you have the original plan, and then you put like another layer, and then you trace it. Like this is a different idea, and you put another one, and I have so many layers now of different information of things that the school has opened my eye to that I appreciated so much. That I question 24/7: is this really the most efficient way to have the practice of architecture? With all of these tools available, or is it just because we're stuck on standard? So then it's questions that nowadays we see that a lot of firms are adhering to. So like now there's a lot more use of Grasshopper. How long that took? That was a conversation that we had Professor Bolojan in D7. He showed us a book of when he was in his master's school. And all of these like crazy parametric computational ideas from 2010. From the 2000s, and we are in 2026. So it's like how long it took for that idea to adhere. Is this really the most? Is this really the most efficient way to handle a practice? So it's like you gotta keep questioning. Like it took 20 years for these ideas like to hit like normal practice stuff, and that's not all practices that do it. That's mostly like larger firms. So it kind of sinks to the idea that you were saying. I know that we're playing around with you, but it makes sense if no one really ever questions. I mean, how long it took them from going to cavemen to like playing around with concrete or like different stones, you know? It's true. We always get a question.
At the end of the day, it's just fear. You know, you're scared of I get it. No, you know, you're scared of. You're so used to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're so used to what you already know. That the thought of something brand new, it's scary because you don't know what to expect. You have no idea what's gonna happen. You know, it's like a lot of the smaller, more localized firms. They don't use the big flashy softwares because you know they might not have staff that know it that well, and they don't want to start risking their livelihoods on something that's not guaranteed. That the larger firms probably have, you know, a better like safety net, you know, in case things go south.
There's also the clientele too.
I think it really comes down to like nowadays is the fact it was probably easier to go from a cave to a hut because let's be honest, we don't have all the like regulations. All the regulations now, all the codes that we have to adhere to. Back then, you build a hut.
You cannot use brown. It doesn't match the HOA.
But nowadays, you got HOAs, you got zoning codes, building codes, and they're great. They're always being updated, but it's definitely at a slower pace than what it definitely could be.
Sure. I think you guys hit the nail on the head on this segment or topic. But Why is becoming a licensed architect framed as the default path? What do you think that is?
I mean, it's just been the stock standard.
That's like the finish line. That's
think
why
so, yeah.
everyone is trying to reach, because at the end of the day, that's kind of why you went through all this suffering
Yeah.
and enjoyment at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the finish line is not graduating. The finish line is getting licensed. That's the whole point of maybe getting a... If you're going to be doing architecture, because of course there's different pathways. But if you're going to be doing architecture, the finish line is getting licensed.
Yeah, I think that, like, I mean, I remember a lot when we were in lower division that they would say, like, architecture school is your training to be an architect. So it literally what it is what you're saying. My point of view of that is that getting licensed ensures that, let's say you go even to a PhD, you can apply your research into your practice. Like, you have the freedom of doing what you obviously following code and the rules and all of that, but you don't have someone that maybe is so stuck on the past saying, no, that's not, no. You can do it. And I mean, you also have the liability of that. I mean, when you go through the testing and the studying for the testing, you're going to understand how important it is, the contracts and all the liability that as an architect you have, and how you have to protect the safety and welfare of people. So always keeping that in mind. But, like, that's, like, what FAU does. The way that they open our minds to so many different things. Maybe my practice one day is going to be different than a normal. It will be different than yours because you have a different interest than me. It will be different than yours. So it's like, and I think that's how we move forward, you know? Like, that's why you have practices. Like, for example, there is this Portuguese architect that she lives in London, Mariana. She has a great practice where it's fully integrated with AI and VR.
Oh, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was checking out her work. I am amazed. It's like, and she's making it real. Like, she has projects like in Dubai, Saudi Arabia. It's like, and it's not standard practice.
Yeah.
She's out there doing it with AI. And it's a lot of people that are against it that says, oh no, that's going to go after you. It's going to take your job. She's proving them wrong. That is actually your coworker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah.
I think with the license, that gives you the freedom to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like it you know, it's the normal finish line that everyone's trying to get to, you know. It's been like that for decades at this point.
Yeah.
But now it gives you that freedom to, you know, if you want to have your business centered around AI integration, you go for AI integration, you know. You're the boss. No one's gonna stop you. You push your way to the top doing that. Yeah. If you want to focus more in you know, theme park design or in subway design, I don't know. You know, literally anything, like air terminals. You know, that's your thing. You know, and the license is gonna give you that freedom to do that. Even for if you're gonna stick mainly towards research.
Yeah.
You know, and you have one project every like 5 years or so.
Yeah.
But it'll allow you to apply the research to a finished physical thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's not just the licensure that gives you freedom. It's also going to a school that gives you the opportunity to see all of this.
Yes.
Because that's another thing, the biases that the schools have.
Yeah.
Because schools are gonna have certain biases to certain styles or certain techniques.
Yeah. And that's why it's important for students to research their school before going to it. I mean, I did not research about FAU, but you know, luckily and by the grace of God, we're able to, you know, come to a school where they're, you know, pushing us into like a lot of different avenues. So it's important that you not only, you know, have licensure, but you also have a school that's showing you how the field could potentially be like, and it's setting you up to be at the forefront of all of that.
Yeah.
So
I 100% agree with you, because the thing is that people obviously think different than me, and that's totally fine. I already learned so much more about the practice working than in school. And I'm not saying that school is bad. I'm saying that it doesn't matter. Every school is going to try their best to train you and prepare you for you to go out in the field. But the only place you're truly going to learn is at an internship, is out of the job site. And everyone knows that. Even the professors tell you that. It could be the most technical school. Yeah. It could be the most technical school. So in my head, personally, the way that I think is that if I'm already going to get a practice by working, then why don't I go to a school that is going to change the way of thinking? Because in the end of the day, that's going to make me a different professional than someone that went to a school that just trained you.
Yeah.
Not a school that train you open your eyes, or you have different skills. You know how to use a robotic arm. What if, I don't know, in the next 5 years it becomes like standard construction, the concrete printing, the 3D printing?
Yeah.
We're gonna have that skill.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna know that because we have professors that use a robotic arm. We have professors that are interested in buying the concrete printer. We're gonna have the skill, which is not every school has it.
Yeah.
So every time I tell someone, it's like, hey, if you're really into architecture, great, go to school that maybe is more technical. But if you're into architecture and you want to learn different things, go to school that is more open to different ideas. Because you're gonna learn so much more. You're gonna become like a full like professional. Like you're gonna have a different skill set. You're not gonna find it everywhere.
Yeah.
And the idea of like licensure, it starts in school. Like everything you learn is going to be taken into practice, whether that's your graphic design skills, or that's your model building skills. If you learn to use a robotic arm, maybe that'll be incorporated within the practice you choose to go into.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next question.
What skills have we gained that apply far beyond architecture? Like maybe
so many.
So much more.
We could all each go into like maybe the specific skills we've gained and talk about what that could look like in a potentially different field.
Let's do different skills. We cannot repeat each other's skills.
Okay, I say one
That's-
skill
that's
each
gonna
that
be-
you
that's-
Yeah, one skill each.
Yeah, because we.
Keep it to one.
Yeah, go. You can start, Nee.
Wow, one skill.
one skill, most important.
What do you think was the most important for you that you've learned so far?
It would probably be just researching a lot. Just research.
I agree.
Research and exploring a lot. I would say that's what I've learned from my time here at FAU so far.
Yeah, I agree. What you, Stan?
I mean, like a skill that's non-specific to architecture.
I mean, could be any skill.
Any skill you
have
have
developed.
Yeah.
For example, time management is not related, but you learn anyway.
That is true. I would say for me, more towards the model making side of things. Mainly in the sense of like, you know, when you make a model, that's where you really understand how it works, or if it can work in the first place.
Yeah. For me, it's networking. I absolutely love networking.
Yeah.
And it's something that, if you truly think about it, it starts in school. It's not even at going at conventions.
Yeah.
It doesn't start anything. If you don't have a good relationship with your professor, how are you going to communicate your idea? How are you going to maybe sell that project to the juror? Like, in the end of the day, it's all about selling. It's all about selling. You're a salesperson 24/7. You're selling your resume to, I don't know, the hiring person. You're selling your idea to your professor. You're selling your research to a school. It's all the time. And then that amplifies whenever you start going to AIA and all my events. Because then maybe you're looking at like getting hired, and then you want to start networking. Maybe you're not even looking at getting hired, but you just want to know different skills. You want to know people. Networking, to me, has been one of the most precious things ever.
For me, in my case, I feel like adaptivity has been one of the strongest ones. Adapting whenever you have a really big pressure or deadlines, so many things that you have to be trapping and trying to finish and trying to submit everything, and being able to manage all that and adapt to the crisis of the moment. I feel like that's one of the best skills, because it does happen that you do have deadlines at the office.
Yeah.
So being able to adapt and not freak out and everything, and being able to stay put and have your mind well placed and organized and everything, that's what's gonna make you thrive.
I think what FAU does best is specifically teaching us like workflows.
Yeah.
Different types of workflows. So if we look at our progress throughout our like designs, if we look at design 5, we looked at shape grammar workflows.
Yeah.
Design 6 was lighting strategy workflows. Design 7 was AI integration workflows. Design 8, we're going to be looking at tensile structures. And if we go back to design 4 for us who were at FAU and stayed at FAU, we had part the whole workflows.
Yeah.
So I think introducing us to these different mindsets that we have to like learn to incorporate within design shows flexibility. I know you kind of mentioned adaptability, but I think flexibility within terms of like our mental state is very important, and it gives us creative and different ways to solve a problem, because like the way I would solve a problem is probably different from how Giorgio, Julia, Stan, or even Nate would solve one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and it's funny because I agree with 100% of you guys' skills. It's like it's things that I love, that I have it on my skill set. You know, all of them, and we're different people. Are you the same?
Yeah, absolutely. How do these skills show up in other industries, or maybe you could give an example of how you're seeing an example of this skill and how it's showing up in a different.
That's
In
fine.
other industries?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think adaptivity and flexibility and networking,
Yeah.
they mainly
Kind of.
add to every
Yeah.
profession.
Yeah.
Like if you're a nurse, you have to be adaptable to maybe like I don't know, you have an urgency, like you have like a patient coming in, urgent surgery. I don't know, you have to adapt. Maybe you're at a different schedule, or you get called in. You know, networking. If you're in finance, you want to go to a bigger firm. Like I mean, they all adapt. Yours, which one was yours again?
just like making.
The model making.
Yeah,
This
making.
one, I want to see how you're gonna back up.
I mean, it
Back that up.
it comes a lot. Or at least the way I've noticed, it comes a lot in stuff when it comes to like product design, or like
Okay.
or like production of different products. You know, you have your prototyping phases, because you need to understand how, or you have to put the idea to paper or to form.
Okay.
I guess, you know, and you have to understand the mechanics.
Yeah.
You know, you have to understand color. Color is a big thing that a lot of people, you know, might not
Small
think it's.
details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jewelry.
You have material. You know, materials can cause a whole host of problems, whether it be financial
Yep.
or medical or so on. You know,
Yeah.
and you have to be able to, you know, to get something physically there for you to be able to fully understand. Because when you're just in like a think tank or some table with people talking and just going around and around in circles, you're doing a lot of talking, but like everyone has a different version of the thing that you're talking about, and it's almost guaranteed that no one will ever have two ideas that match one to one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if you have something there, you know, that's how you can get everyone on the same page, and that's how, you know, you pitch ideas, and you show what you're thinking to like investors and clients and so on, because they also need to see what you're talking about. You know, you can't just keep talking, and then you have your idea, and a big thing about that is you're. I know I'm rambling, but like you're the professional. You know.
Yeah.
You have a better understanding of how it is in your head, but then the guy you're explaining it to has no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Guys, the idea has been backed up. Congrats, Tim.
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to like iterations. So small victories or through mountains. Like,
Yeah. Wow.
It really comes down to that.
And you name
Yeah.
back the research, which I think it's easier than a model.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap it in a bow. I think I see like a two different sides, or two different sides of the same coin, where you guys are more so talking about the soft skills, which is like the ability to network, the ability to adapt.
Yeah.
And then we are kind of talking maybe more about the hard skills, so like workflows and research and model making, and that could apply to like you said, product design, even like urban design, landscape design. I mean, this is stuff you still do. Like you have to make models, right? You have workflows, you have to do research, and I think once you have all of that together, then you're more complete and more how would I put it? A more complete designer. You know.
Yeah.
The holistic approach.
Yeah,
to
it's a
architecture.
holistic approach to how you design. I think that's what architecture school teaches you about.
Yeah.
To be able to take those skills and be able to apply to different any sort of problems. Because at the end of the day, you're looking at being a problem solver. That's what it is, a problem solver.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think you guys all have those skills you've talked about. I think we all have all of those skills we've all talked about.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
At different degrees. But
yeah,
yes,
different
for
degrees,
sure.
different strengths, but I think we all have all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, comments?
Stan, did you miss anything?
Did you
No.
more
No,
your session? More.
Wait, actually, don't give him. Let's go to the next one.
next segment. What non-traditional careers have we seen architectural grads pursue?
Non-traditional.
Yeah, non-traditional.
I mean, film.
Film. Yeah, I've heard about video game design.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
That's one I've heard. Video game design.
Yep.
I remember, I don't know if it was someone we know specifically, but car design,
Yeah.
Car design.
Car design. Yeah.
Yeah.
automotive design.
I mean, there's photography too.
Yeah. Photography.
Yeah, photography. Maybe some people start with architecture photography and then maybe transition to general photography.
Yeah.
I know people that have transferred from architecture to like video content and creators and all that, like fully just on
Yeah.
creating
Content creation.
content creation. Yeah.
Gotcha. It's because it's such a creative field and you do
It is.
so many things. It's like you could be, I think, at the most strict school where it's just technical, and it's still gonna be creative because problem solving, you gotta be creative to solve a problem. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's not the straightforward answer of like, oh, the wall is gonna be painted white. Sometimes it's not that.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the material we're short, or like what Professor Boljan mentioned, like different examples of like having steel problems,
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you gonna solve the problem? And you gotta get creative.
Yeah.
So it opens your mind automatically. Like you're constantly like using the muscle of your brain to figure out stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look at over the summer. We did an architectural competition
Yeah.
to design a toddler's chair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the skills we learn is so applicable to so many fields. So many. It's one of the best degrees you can ever go into.
You can make your money and living off of designing pools, and people do that.
Yeah. I remember
Tools,
someone told us
tables.
about that. There's a guy in Tampa that does strictly pool design, and he makes bread.
Wow.
Yeah, he makes a lot of bread.
I have a question. So let's say that all of us automatically, right? We would say, okay, we graduated architecture, but we don't want to be architects or follow the traditional path or competition design path. Nothing that relates to actual architecture, period. What would you guys do?
Oh,
Like we just mentioned non-traditional professions with the architecture degree, right? But what would you do?
I personally really like building stuff with my hands. So I will definitely have something like some sort of like a workshop in my garage, and then I will just be making stuff out of 3D prints, maybe a
Like
CNC,
furniture design?
maybe furniture design, maybe more engineering style, like anything. I love using machines to make things that you can buy outside, but I can make it at home.
I think when I was younger, I actually wanted to be a shoe designer. I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Wow.
So I think that's what I would do. I think I would go into fashion design, shoe design, jewelry design, because that was like my true and tried like profession. I really wanted to do fashion design. So, and somehow criminal justice went in the mix. Anyway.
we talked about it at the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I don't know how, but anyway.
I mean, funny enough, you're closer to the fashion designer now than you are
Yeah.
to
Criminal
criminal
justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that, like you were saying, that create content that they end up coming out with merch.
Yeah.
And like different stuff, so it's a little bit of fashion. It's not like I thought about like couture, like I don't know how to say it correctly because of my accent, but couture like design. But anyway.
You gonna design Arch Rewind merch?
Oh,
Let us know in the comments.
they're gonna put "I love Stan" on the back, or merch saying "I know I'm rambling."
Or caveman.
I mean, I have the best
Concrete
moments,
is
so
not-
all the merch is gonna be about me.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Concrete is not
He just had his
originally from
diva moment. It was just missing the sparkles.
Florida. Or in the back of the shirt, concrete is not from Florida.
That's
I forgot about that.
hilarious.
Ben goes like,
I don't think concrete is native anywhere.
guys, honestly, I know this is out of topic. We already left so much about this episode. It was episode 4 or 5.
I don't even remember.
Go back.
Was it
That
4 or
was
5?
worth it seeing it. Yeah, honestly,
I think
yeah.
it's the sustainable
Yeah, four,
architecture
four.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sustainable. Yeah, please go
Whichever one
back.
that one is.
Please
Go
go
watch
back.
it.
Please
Yeah.
go watch
Yeah, I
it.
love
It's
it.
so
So good.
Honestly, that's a merch. That's a merch right there.
what was it, Mr. Doom and Gloom?
Yeah, Mr. Doom and Gloom. I don't mean to be Mr. Doom and Gloom. Or the one people die, you know? Like, I'm not joking.
Let's wrap. Let's go back to the topic.
Yeah.
Alright, thank
Sorry.
What would you?
I don't know. I mean, it is something that I've been thinking about recently, but never like too in depth. Maybe something where you get to explore more with the 3D modeling aspect. So maybe towards like a more
Video game.
maybe, but like
I
mean,
see you doing video games.
that would have to be a lot of money.
What does that mean?
No.
But maybe like
video
film,
games.
you know, because like in film, especially ones that aren't live action. But even so, you have people that design the background, because without that, the story doesn't
Match up.
it doesn't take place. You have to create the world to then tell your story. So maybe something like that in film.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe like in product design, making different products, where it goes from cups to chairs to, I don't know, lawnmowers.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I think, yeah, product design would probably be something I would probably do, and if it wasn't related to like design, I think I would be like some sort of like, I don't know, business manager, talking to people.
Life coach.
No, life coach. But like, I would be like some sort of like, I don't know, manager, because I think I enjoy like talking to people a lot. When I enjoy making connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll be in something that's related to talking to people, seeing people.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah, communications.
Yeah.
I mean, even on your own business, like,
Yeah.
that's something that I see.
Yeah.
You,
That
Ben?
would be-
What about you?
For me, I'm similar to Giorgio in where I like to work with my hands. I don't think I would go into more like 3D prints, but maybe more like robotics. Because I really enjoy like building stuff up, the electronics that go through it, the hard wires and everything. I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So I would probably go in that direction, which I might even do that with the architecture degree.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
I
should.
mean, when I started, I almost went into engineering and
That was
doing
the exact same way. Same here.
doing. I wanted to start before I started engineering. I wanted to start doing like drones, so building drones from scratch and then making them go all the way up and
Wow.
adding cameras and everything. It didn't go because I started architecture and I didn't have the time, as you can imagine. But
graduate.
it's still around there. I mean, the architecture that I like the most, it is kinetic architecture, which it goes back into the engineering in a sense. So there's that too.
Yeah.
I remember this was back in middle school that like Lego has this like robotics kit essentially.
Yeah.
with it.
Yes, I had in Brazil a class of
I
that.
always
Yeah.
wanted one.
Used them all the time. We made essentially like robot wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically that. We got like a ring in the middle of the classroom, and the computers are on the edge of the classroom. Giant circle in the center, just of like duct tape and whatnot. And we had sensors that would sense when they would go out, and obviously not with like all the sharp tools
course.
in middle school.
Yeah.
But hammer-ish kind of attempts, ramming, things of that nature,
Yeah.
all in play, just not the giant buzz saws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Going to our second question. I think it's a really, really great question. are these paths leaving architecture or expanding architecture?
Wait, what?
Do they, when we say we're this paths like this sort of unorthodox or untraditional,
Yeah.
do they expand it, or do we say we're leaving the architecture? So can we say they're adding value to the field of architecture, or they're giving us a new lens of being architecture?
Well, I mean,
I think it adds value.
Yeah.
I think
I
design
think there's
in
a thin
general.
line
Yeah.
in between, to be honest. I think they do, but I also think that there's always going to be some sort of connection, because at the end of the day you were through all your major of architecture,
Yeah.
and the way that you think is architectural wise, designer, and whatever other way that you might be thinking. So going into, I don't know, furniture design, at the end of the day, whatever you design might have some sort of connection back into architecture, or it might not. So that's why I mean, like, with the thin line, it depends on, at the end of the day, how you make it, how you implement it into, if you want to make it closer to architecture, because that's also that. If you want to disconnect it fully, that's also that option.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a really high possibility of connecting and expanding what is architecture in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this way. Once a designer, always a
Always a
designer.
designer.
Because the thing is that if I'm, let's say, scenario, right? I become a fashion designer or jewelry designer or whatever. I'm going to envision how I want my store to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to envision, because it's not just simply, I make these great clothes, you know. You're not just selling your clothes. You're selling the experience. And the experience starts when you step in the door.
Yeah.
So how I want my clients' experience to be. I want them to have like a great like luxury experience. They walk in, they're greeted, maybe they get a cup of water, they come by, we have a coffee. Like you got like, and all of that ties to architecture.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I think once you start architecture, you never really leave that. You're always gonna question things differently. Like when I hang out with my mom, she tells me, you need to start like, I don't know, making some sort of like series, because like when we hang out, she walks into a space, she's like, oh, I like this wall, and I'm like, oh, you see how this pattern on the floor like matches with what's happening above and stuff. She's like, I never noticed that, and I'll never look at that. And we're always gonna look at that because we were trained to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether we leave the field or not. We're on the day to day. Like, I mean, there's even a bunch of memes online, like traveling with an architecture student. They're like putting their hands on the wall. Yeah. They're taking pictures, not of the building, but of the corner detail. You know, like exactly going like this. Like, I think this is limestone. I think this is Florida concrete.
Is that what you do when you
No.
This must be native to Florida.
I don't think I've seen these in the Everglades.
You did see all the funny moments are from you, so now you gotta take it.
Then we bloopers.
What's your?
I mean, it all depends on how you tie it back, you know, because if you do, I don't know, something like fashion design, it's very easy to just get lost in that and have no way to tie it back into architecture, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like Julia was saying, like, you know, it's the experience that you're selling within the store. If the design of the store is a part of that experience of, you know, people coming in looking at your designs, you know, and how they look at it, how they experience those, then you're expanding architecture, because now you're using architecture to enhance something else. You know, you're using that building to generate a limelight for whatever it is that you're trying to sell. Mm-hmm. You know, if you go into something like automobiles, you know, working for a specific dealer, you know, let's say you're working for I don't know, like BMW or something, right? Let's say they have you in charge of designing the next BMW, right? But then they also want to have a way to properly display that, you know. Then they have you design a store, a brand new dealership, where you're able to set the vehicles in a way where you can properly display them in a certain way that gets people's attention, and you're showing off the features of the cars without actually having them on the road or outside, and that draws them into the store, you know, and then you know you can run business as usual, you know, if you're in film, or some type of like, you know, design aspect like that where you're already dealing with landscape, with buildings, you know, and it's just about of trying to sell that, you know, to everyone else.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
So, yeah, like Giorgio said, there's really that fine line between like what is architecture, what is design, and I think it comes down to it. It all ties back to what we have learned. From our architecture degree, we've learned skills from different fields: graphic design, model building, all of it. And so even if I were to go into robotics, I'm going to look at it from a designer's point of view. How do I do this where it looks good, but it works well? How do I build this in a way that is easier? It might take me a long time to get to a point. It takes me 5 years to develop a software. But now it significantly improves the lives of others. Imagine, like here and now, you found a site that could literally do all of your site analysis drawings right there, and click it. The site, at least have like a massing model of the building, and then send it off to that site. That would exponentially help us all.
Yeah.
And so it's this idea where even if we go into fashion, automotive, whatever, it comes back to us in some form. You know how we've started to use AI, which AI is not architectural like program to begin with.
Yeah.
It was for something else. We as architects have learned to essentially steal other programs and use it for our benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys captured the essence of it. I think architecture is us designing people's lives, if you look at it.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, there is a fine line, but I also think as an architect, you're open to design everything. Bajork Ingels, the architect, I'm sure you guys know who he is.
Yeah.
His motto is like, yes is more. So he's always like, he's open to design everything. He said he would even design a doghouse. Like that's how open he is to design everything. So and I think other fields are related to architecture. I mean, you look at the car, for example. We see how the car designed the way we even live in houses. Now you see how it happened in the last century, how we had car ports, right? That designs that changes the way architecture is, right?
Yeah.
Even the way this fan is, like, it changes what we call architecture. So I think architecture really is everything. But yes, there is a fine line. Like, yeah, it's like it's fine, but it's also loose, right? It's It's like
It's just a thin.
It's
yeah,
a straight.
yeah.
It's
really
just a
thin
thin
one.
line, but it's loose.
Yeah. So I think yeah, it's all related to architecture. I think you can go into any field. I think architecture is connected to every field. Once you really like think about it, because you design how people live. Like if I put a bathroom right here and I put a bedroom right here, I'm designing how that person lives. Like when they sleep and they go like this. They're not even thinking about it, but I just design how they're gonna walk about.
Yeah.
Their daily life is designed by you. There's
Yeah.
the psychology of it all comes back to us as architects.
Yeah.
And that is why you'll see a lot of architects go into psychology. I believe even Giorgio's boss has a degree in psychology as well.
Yeah. It's powerful, but it's kind of like scary too at the same time.
Yeah.
You just know how someone lives.
I mean, it's on the smallest things. Like if you look at it, like every product, like you buy a pen and you don't like the way you feel the pen. You just think that the pen is poorly designed.
Yeah.
You just don't think the pen is bad quality. You come out to the end, the answer is it was poorly designed because it's bothering my hand.
Yeah.
I cannot grip it well. So and if you think about it, that's with anything. Clothes, the zipper was poorly designed. Perfume bottle, the spritz is poorly designed. I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing every product, but I'm just saying that whenever you run into the issue, it's always the design. Because everything, even though you use the perfume, the way you grab the bottle, like it doesn't make you feel comfortable. Is that gonna make you spritz more time to buy more bottles? You know,
Yeah.
like like everything you think with that quote unquote, I always say this word wrong because of my accent, entrepreneurial mindset of like, how can I get people to use more of my product?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Anyone has anything else to add to it?
All right.
Why does our identity feel so tied to the title architect?
Our identity is tied to what?
The title architect.
The title architect.
Yeah. Who wrote this questions? I'm joking.
We all know.
I'm sorry. But I think it goes back to what we define as architect. If you really look at it, you know, it's when we think of architect, we think of something that's someone that's an overseer of something, someone that's orchestrating, a conductor of some sort, orchestrating things. So I think we can think of architect in the sense of like building, but we can also think of architects in the sense of like other things. You know, we have software architects, we have different types. We have like naval architect. I mean, that was very interesting field. But like the word architect, I don't think we should tie it to just being buildings. We are architects of so many other fields and so many other things.
I mean, even when you look at like in like the general, like whenever you're having a conversation and you're saying like, oh, let's go out. Like no one really uses in that sense, but like let's say, oh, how we're gonna do this presentation? Who's gonna be the architect? I think that the word architect is tied to plan.
Yeah.
So who is planning that?
Who's
and if you
designing
think
it?
about it, planning is designing.
Yeah.
So it's like this sort of like ideas that hop onto each other, they connect.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily I'm saying, oh, who was the architect of that? Like, you know, but like who was the architect of that dumb idea of going out? You know, like who was the mastermind? who was their mastermind behind that? You know.
Yeah.
I think it's always that idea of who was the mastermind.
Yeah. Who came up with photo concrete? Who's the architect?
I think this episode.
The highlight of the episode. There's so many bloopers.
You left it on a place.
I think this episode became a Stan roast.
Stanley
What do you
roast.
have to say?
After that, he has nothing to say.
He's gonna say it is native on
Yeah, I am the architect of that. But anyone has you?
We love you, Stan.
Yeah, I feel like now
He's looking at me like.
he's trying to kill me.
we gonna hash it out when we get out of this episode. Don't worry.
If you guys don't see Nate on the next episode, you guys
we
know
know what
why.
happened to me. He's gonna throw me in that pool. Oh my! Anyone have anything else to add to it?
I think that at the end of the day, the title of architect has been like locked behind a paywall at some points because, like, legally, not like because we can't call ourselves architects.
No, we can't.
No, we cannot.
We can't. We can call ourselves interns. Even
Designers.
like intern architect would be like very like
Architectural
sketchy.
students.
So it's in a sense until we get our license, we are not architects. We are designers. So I think that's in a sense, how would you say? It's defined how we thought of that like title.
Yeah.
It's like a goal that we are, but we aren't.
That's why the finish line is getting licensed, because that's when
Yeah.
you actually get to call yourself, I'm an architect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ties very well to our next question. How do we separate self-worth from job titles?
Self-worth from job titles. It's very hard.
I mean,
I mean-
you know what you bring to the table. You know,
Like-
you know where you sit. You know the work that you're able to provide, the services that you're able to provide.
Yeah.
And if you feel like that whoever it is that you're working for or that has hired you is not taking advantage of that, or I guess in a sense is taking a negative advantage of you and thinks that that just because you're only designing a certain maybe your job is only a renovation plan, and just because it's only renovation that your say is minimal and this and that, you know, you have every right, like as a designer, as an architect, you have every right to pull out of the project when you see fit, because they're contracting you for your service. You have you very well have the right to deny someone your service, you know, if they don't show the respect that you show them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I remember a talk that one of our professors had that basically he says, here's my number. If you don't like it, well, see ya. Long story short. And I remember when he was talking that he said he gives like that friends and families discount, but even then, he really doesn't like to.
Yeah.
And because our services, there is a cost to them. And our name as an architect is on the line. Every single time we stamp a drawing, sign it, whatever.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, do you really think it is worth it to do that project if they're not paying you what you're worth, if they're not giving you the respect you deserve? I get them getting a second opinion, that's fine, whatever. Go to someone, if you think they'll do a better job, go to them.
Yeah. I think that's like, okay, I think that's an admiration that families and friends usually have when they say, hey, when you're done with school, you're gonna design my house. But then there's always those unsaid words of you thinking it's gonna be your first opportunity for you to put your name out there and for you to do what you've been wanting to do, for you to make the person happy with the product you're gonna design. And then the other person's head is that most likely I'm gonna get something of high quality that might be cheaper because they maybe are less experienced, and not because they don't love you, but because they, one, trust you, and two, because they have that quote unquote intimacy with you. They expect you to have family and friends discount. And that's where I think it becomes a problem, because it's like, I think unless it's like your parents and your grandparents, like, or whoever it is that you think it's the most of like importance in your life in terms of family, I don't think there should be a discount. Because then you're proving that person that if you have a relationship with an architect, then they should lower their value. Because if they're paying you by your services because they admire you, they are celebrating you, and they are showing it to you that they actually see your worth, that even though they you know, they like you have a relationship with them, they don't think that you should lower your standards for them, and that's respect. Like in general, like I think it's like whenever you're having a relationship, your partner should have the utmost respect to you because they admire you and they love you, and you shouldn't lower your standards for them. And I think that applies to these cases, you know, like what you're saying, like, you know your worth. If that firm is not going to take advantage of it, bye-bye. Like, that's their problem. You're going to find someone who's going to have respect and who's going to admire your work. And that's honestly, like, that's every time when someone, they tell me, oh, I'm so excited for when you get out of school, you're going to design my house. And I'm like, I'm excited too.
You have the cash ready.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm excited too. Like, the only people I'm gonna be giving discounts, again, my grandparents and my parents. Period. The rest, if you love me and you're really there to celebrate me, you're gonna respect my work to pay my fees the correct way, because you know I'm gonna do it well, and you know there's a reason why we're great students, because we be doing well since school. So I'm gonna do it well when I get into practice. So you better pay me well too. Like,
Write that down.
It's like a
don't lower
terms of
your
service.
worth.
Yeah.
You know, it's a contractual agreement. You know, if you break that contract, if you just read the contract anyway, I'm pulling out.
Yeah.
Like, don't lower your standards. Don't lower your worth because of people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of a story of like this like restaurant owner. If anyone like said they knew the owner, he told them, make them pay double. Make them pay double. If they're my friends and the family, they will support my business by paying double.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They 100% should, because I mean, in the end of the day, yes, your parents, they're investing in you by paying your schooling, right? But they believe that you're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
They are praying for you to be successful. So when you are, then they better be there supporting you. Not that every time they gotta pay double, but like They better be, whenever their friends, like your parents' friends, say, "Oh my God, your daughter is an architect. I want them to do my house." Your parents better say, "Yeah, great. She's not gonna be giving you any discounts, though. You're gonna pay her right." Because that's when it starts to disrespect. Because then it starts to, "Oh, I paid less. I got a discount. I got this. I got that." And then you become that person with the lower worth, and then you start having multiple problems, And then you pull out a contract, or they, go to someone else.
About the risk part that Ben was mentioning, there's a level of risk and value that you should always bring to the firm. On the contract, you usually want to make sure that you're valuing and analyzing if the risk is actually worth it. Basically, a condo. Whenever you're doing a condo, you have to be really careful. That's a really risky environment itself. It's its own thing, because they most likely have lawyers already prepared. Anything goes wrong, they're most likely living already in the building, so they will provide a lawsuit in the moment that something goes wrong. So because of that, whenever there's risk, you wanna put up your costs, your expenses. You want to make sure your fees level to the risk of what you're getting, because getting a lawsuit by a condominium or getting a lawsuit by anything, it's really time consuming and really expensive.
Is
I
that-
mean,
is that the
doctors
statute of
and
limitations?
surgeons and such, they get paid a lot because it's a high risk situation. You're dealing with people's livelihoods, their well being.
Yeah.
If they mess up, it's a very bad outcome, to say the least. So why is it that we, the architects who deal with, where people live. So you're dealing with not just one person, but an entire community of people at any given time.
Yeah.
And we're supposedly valued less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to reframe the question a little bit, since this is a student podcast, right? And maybe so this is going to be the question. What can we tell our viewers, or how can they, command respect as young designers, people who haven't, built anything? How do you command, respect or self-worth when you go into the field? We haven't built anything, so how do you, maybe it's towards you two, because you two are, more into, you have actually worked in the firms. Maybe you guys could talk about how to command respect and self-worth as a young designer.
Do you want to start?
I mean, it's a complicated thing, but it shouldn't be. That's the thing. There's a level of understanding between maybe the client and myself. I'm not saying it has happened, but you do have to understand that in their view, you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're just getting started. You don't know. Maybe you don't know what you're doing, even though you might know what you're doing. But the judgment of you're young, you don't know what you're doing, is really tough, and it's something that happens all the time. The way that I see that you could provide and show them that you're actually worth what you're showing and that you're implying as your fee goes is just proving them wrong, proving them that you know exactly what you're doing, and that any question that they have, answering properly, respectfully, making sure that you're giving them respect so they give you the respect back.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not, you don't get respect just because you have to earn the respect. So the respect is earned in the moment that you first see the client or the person, or you talk to someone. It's something that is just not giving. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's earned at the first impression that you get from the person.
Okay. Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I'm gonna give the other side of the coin. Instead of the client, I'm gonna give the firm, because that's another thing.
Yeah.
Outside of the clients thinking you're a kid, you're also the youngest in your firm.
Of course.
And you are usually the intern, where you, again, that hasn't happened to me, but you're the intern, you can be given whatever, and you'll figure out. But I think that, again, it plays back to the idea of the network.
Yeah.
Because, okay, you have a great portfolio, they reviewed, yay, you are good to go, you can start working here. But if you're doing very well in school, right, and you start making networks, maybe you work at a firm where you know the alumni, which is my case, where I know alumni that have seen my work or that have heard of me from other people. So it's like this chain of the network that you're doing, someone that knows the other person that knows the other person, that is constantly saying positive things about you. your name's gonna start bringing up more positive. It's gonna sound more positively inside of the firm, because it's not me just saying I'm great. It's multiple people saying that you're great. It's multiple people showing you that they trust you, that you're gonna do a good job, that they're fit for that role. And whenever you are in that role, you gotta continue proving that it's not just those people saying I am great. Like I can't do the things I told you I can do, because that's another thing too. You can't just say, oh, I can do this, and then you show up and you don't. That's problematic. You're causing a frustration. So you constantly proving that you're great. And not only that, but you have great ideas, constantly participating, because it's easy. You can show up to work every day, do the bare minimum, and leave. You're always going to be stuck in the same position.
Yeah.
But if you show up to work every day with a positive attitude, you're trying new things. Maybe maybe you're even doing the stuff that you didn't even want to do, but you're learning something by doing those things, And maybe you found a problem, and that showed up a solution, and that was a great idea. And that maybe your supervisor saw that. Okay, so Julia has great ideas, so maybe I can give her a project, maybe something small, and that's how it starts. You start handling that project, and then that project gives you a bigger opportunity, and then maybe you're part of a bigger team or of a bigger project. So it really starts from you doing good stuff from the start. You can't expect money running like falling money from the sky, so you can't expect opportunities or great people or a great network falling from the sky. You got to go after it. You got to be ambitious, but not greedy. Yeah. That's what people get it wrong. Some people are like, oh no, I'm great. And sometimes they're not even that great. I'm sorry. Sometimes they're not even that great. Sometimes, honestly, you have great graphics and you have great this, but you're, average. Because when it gets to the actual problem, are you going to stand up and do something? Because I know I am. So it's that confidence that is not great ego, or that is not arrogant, but is that confidence because you know yourself, and that's what matters. Not because other people need to know. Yeah. And that's how you prove to the people in your work and your clients that you're doing something correct. And when you're wrong, admit, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. A lot of people have that problem. A lot of people don't say that they're wrong. So when you're honest, honesty is another big thing. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I looked at the wrong number. And they're going to see, okay, so she wasn't messing around. She actually made an honest mistake. And they're going to give you an opportunity, because not everyone does that. So these very basic values, they take you so long in the long run. It's like, I don't think people really look at them. Like honesty, respect, trust, confidence, but not ego. Yeah. It's like these things will take you so far along in your career anywhere.
Yeah. I guess to build off of that, I don't have experience when it comes to architecture firms, but I do have experiences in working in businesses between like a professional client relationship. Yeah. And as they were saying before, you always have to garner the respect for your clients. You always have to be uplifting, be respectful to them, to then get that respect back from them. Yeah.
What Georgia said, you earn it.
Exactly. You have to act as a professional, because you are. There is a certain standard that you have to meet, because you put the effort and time to be there.
Absolutely. With
that being said, that does not mean that you have to sit there and be a sucker. Because if they decide for if they want to come at you and think that they know everything, and that since you're the one doing it for them, they call all the shots, and then they get to tell you exactly what to do in this, and they think that they know more than you, that's when you tell them to walk through the door. Because no, but like this is.
No, you're right.
Like it's like you can laugh all you want, but like it's a serious thing. You don't get to like at the same way that you have to act a certain way because you're a professional. They have to treat you a certain way because you are a professional. Yeah. You're a professional, so you demand that level of respect. If you don't give that respect, don't even bother.
No, you're right.
Like you're right. You can't sit there, and that's what happens to a lot of businesses and to just people in general. Whereas that like they reach that position, but they don't know how to get that respect from people. Yeah. So then they just get walked on. is constantly over and over and over. You have to be able to put your foot down and tell them to walk through that door if they're not treating you with the respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you can't be a jerk about it. You also have to, show respect to your client. But if you see that you're trying your best to give them the best of your services, and they're just like taking you for a fool, don't even waste your time.
Yeah. No, I wasn't laughing at you. I was just laughing at the screen.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the wise words. And
yeah, I agree with Stanley.
Yeah, you guys said a lot of really, really, really helpful, even for me. Like, thinking about how do I, have self-worth when it's time for me, or when I'm about to, go for an internship, or, and all of that, when it's time to, actually graduate and get into the workforce. Yeah. Maybe one last thing. What advice would you give to first years in regards to,
like starting architecture school?
Architecture school, and what you can do with it. One piece of advice that you can all give to it.
Keep your mind open.
Keep your mind open.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I know that I didn't research much about architecture. I don't regret it. I honestly think that you should just enjoy the ride, because you're gonna find your flow. Obviously, it doesn't mean enjoy the ride and be laid back and do nothing. It's enjoy the ride and be ambitious. I mean, this is cool. In the end of the day, let's be honest, half of the stuff is not getting built, right? Obviously, you're doing some nice content for your portfolio for you to get hired, but half of the stuff is not getting built. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Research. Do unimaginable things, because once school is over, you're going to be in the real world, and I want to see you making that happen. And sometimes you will be able to, but who knows? So enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say to try to connect with your professors, because at the long run, it will help you be able to connect with them after school and everything. They're a great connection, because at the end of the day, you don't know if you can do a research with them. You don't know if you can maybe explore something with them, or do an independent study, or maybe there's so many possibilities, because at the end of the day, they have already gone through most of the mistakes that you will most likely be making. Yeah. So they can absolutely teach you how not to make those mistakes and avoid them, and start working with them, or start moving forward, or continue the research, or whatever. Working with your professors give you so many opportunities that you can take for any reason or any opportunities that you might want.
Yeah.
So I would definitely suggest to networking with your professors and your peers.
Yeah.
I have two. One, learn skills while you're in school, like Rhino, Revit, AutoCAD, all of it, Blender. Learning these skills will never harm you.
Yeah.
Learning to be good at doing graphic designs in Illustrator.
Yeah.
Going through Adobe Premiere or whatever you plan to do will never hurt you.
Yeah.
The second thing is find a good mentor, to be honest. Someone that you aspire to be or be better than, to be honest.
Yeah.
So look for a good mentor, someone who you look up to, you can at least follow their footsteps. That way you're not falling through the snow.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think you guys said everything. Oh my.
Oh, we've been stealing your words lately.
You guys are saying everything. Go out there, learn new things. Yeah, have an open mind to learning stuff. Like me and you were doing content creation, for example.
Yeah.
That's something that not a lot of students are doing, but it's something that we took up as an initiative to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's helpful for us, because for example, people see that and oh, I like your content, I like what you're doing, and it's you have to be open to just trying new things. Example, the DIS, we're doing the directed independent study. Be open, be curious about learning stuff. Be curious about having a mentor. Like you said, me, I'm kind of doing that with Professor Sandel in some sense, because it was it's something I like, and he's someone that has experience in what I want to do. He's someone that's also guided me through some of my design studios, right?
Yeah.
So it's you want to pick someone that can guide you, hold your hands, maybe not completely hold your hands, but
show you the door.
Show you the door, yeah.
Be that shade.
Yeah.
And with what you said, with that being said, follow us on Instagram. So Arch Rewind on Instagram, Nate and I, we share our personal journey through architecture, which that's another thing. I think it's very interesting, especially because we share it differently. So follow us both. Your Instagram is
Nartilia.
and mine is Arch Designs by Jew altogether. So I think that is just important because you're with us, right? Hearing this, but you get to maybe see Nate's vlogs on YouTube. You know, like you get to actually experience how it is to be in architecture school, or you come with me for a studio night, you know, and then you see different point of views, you know, and I think that's great. And outside of us, follow multiple architecture Instagrams.
Yeah.
You're gonna see how each school is different, how each project is different. You're gonna see how each school does graphics different. That's a great reference.
Yeah.
It's always good to reference stuff. So use the internet for your advantage. Like it's here for a reason. So use it. Don't misuse it. Use it.
Yeah.
So
Jojo, you also have an account, right?
Yes, I'm still working
Sorry.
on the
Yeah.
on implementing. I'm not really right as of right now. I still don't have much content. I'm creating everything so I can start uploading, but it will definitely be out.
Yeah.
but give a shout out, is it?
We'll put the link. Yeah. Shout out. Give a shout out.
Geo, I don't remember.
Carolina
Geo's Carolina Design. There you go.
Uh,
We'll put a link on there in the description.
Yeah, we'll try to link this down in YouTube.
Yeah.
So we'll link the Instagram, we'll link the Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a spoiler right there for the end.
Spotify.
Yeah, we're now on Spotify. You'll see us on YouTube for sure.
iHeartRadio. We're on almost every podcast platform except for Apple Podcasts. We're working on that, and we should get that sorted out soon.
So thank you for your support, actually, because that pushes us to be able to do all of these great things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So
It's amazing.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess-
Also, thank you again, EDSA, for the
Amazing.
space.
That's
Amazing space. We love it.
Yep.
And remember, always reach for the top.
Yep. Yeah.
all right, guys. I guess that wraps up episode 1 of season 2.
Yep. Woo! Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. All right.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yep.
Yes.
Mic turned off.
Mike, turn up. Wow, like that was like.
Quick shout out.
Quick shout out. This is gonna be.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo that.
No, we'll just cut. We'll just cut.
This is going to be part of the blooper reel.
Yeah.
No,
Alright, stop laughing and let him go.
I'm sorry.